Well, it really seems that February 23rd will be a major test now for the opposition, but namely Juan Guaido, the man who declared himself the president of this country exactly a month before that date. So essentially, we're looking at the first month anniversary of Juan Guaido after making many promises to his public, first and foremost about humanitarian aid, among other things, including the transition of power and early elections. But most importantly, he kept talking about humanitarian aid being delivered to this country on that date, February 23rd, and he mobilized a lot of people. So far, we're hearing nearly 1 million people were registered online as volunteers. These are Venezuelan citizens who want to volunteer to help with those aid efforts on that day. And of course, we've seen a rare incident in Venezuela. The opposition is usually very much fragmented, but Juan Guaido also managed to unite the opposition so much for the first time in years that now we're looking at a date whether this aid will come in or not, because if it doesn't, we're wondering how that will affect the streets. Of course, people have been manifesting, demonstrating for weeks now. The opposition threw all their support behind Juan Guaido. But if he can't keep his promise, what will happen? And potentially whether this country could go in a wrong direction, whether we could maybe see some violence on the streets. Of course, this comes as very strict warnings from the military saying that the opposition, if they want to bring aid into the country, it would have to be over our dead bodies. And of course, with that rhetoric, everybody's now holding their breath to see what Juan Guaido could manage to do on Saturday.
Absolutely, Edis. This is also going to be a big test for the Maduro government, right?
Well, most certainly, and I think that's what makes it very much interesting. It's not just a test for the opposition, but very much so for the government. Because remember, until now, we keep saying that, yes, Nicolas Maduro, the president, still has the support of the military, but that is very much the case for the very top generals who are also in very advantageous positions in this country. But as you go down the ranks, many are wondering how much loyalty can he possibly get? Because remember that they've been piling up more soldiers and military presence on a lot of the borders, particularly Colombia and Brazil, the easily accessible border crossings where aid is expected to come through. But many are wondering, because these foot soldiers, some of them, they hardly make enough money to get by, to survive the current economic crisis in the country. And the opposition is very much playing that card. They are hoping that some of these soldiers might essentially be tempted. Instead of pointing guns towards Venezuelan volunteers, maybe they might be actually breaking the chain of command to let the aid come through. And of course, that would essentially be a very wrong message for the government in terms of their image and strength in the country.